is the end. Hey everybody, welcome to Rumors Comedy Cast episode 2. We're here at Rumors Comedy Club, at Rumors Comedy on Twitter. I'm Dan Verville, at TV Comedy, and we're here with the very funny Dean Jenkinson.
I'm Dean Jenkinson. I just found out it's only the second one.
Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. So that's what we're calling this podcast.
Phew, at least it's better than the first one.
Well, by a very slim margin. Dean can, and I just found out earlier, you cannot find Dean on the internet if you're curious at all. He does not exist.
I'm there, but you just won't find me interacting with you because I don't have a website, and my wife won't let me on Twitter because that would waste a lot of my time. Apparently,
I don't think it'd waste your time. I think it'd be good.
Well, I don't think it would either.
Get on there.
I'm letting you know her words. She actually clarified recently because I would say that to people. They'd say, "Are you on Twitter?" And I'd say, "No, my wife won't let me be on Twitter because it'll waste our lives." And then she said to me, "Stop saying that. I never said you couldn't be. I said I don't want you on Twitter. You can do whatever you want," she says. "I just won't be happy about it." So is that a distinction without a difference? I think so.
I think we all know that Dean will never be on Twitter. I think that's the end of it.
When I realize that I can't make her happy any longer, regardless of what I do, then I'll just do whatever I want.
That's when you start it up.
Yeah.
But you're here from, well, obviously tonight's Tuesday, but you're here from Wednesday through to Saturday, so July 29th to August 2nd. Yeah, how'd you like the show tonight?
It was a great Tuesday night. They were very, very kind. They laughed at a lot of things. And, there's a nice sort of comfort level where you realize, okay, they're going to laugh. I can relax and be a little more
loose and
a little looser, not just go, okay, next, because I don't know if they're going to like this, and I got to keep going. I just got to, okay. They have some faith that it'll be funny, so I can play a little bit more.
It's nice to have a faithful audience every now and again. But you're used to...
Just believe in me. I don't. Please, just believe in me.
But you're used to Rumors, though, obviously.
I started hosting at Rumors in 1990 when I was 6 years old.
I was going to say, I was 4 in 1990, so you're definitely 2 years older than me.
I was 19.
That's crazy.
I was about to turn 20. And it feels like a long time ago. But here I am still. Again.
Doing the podcast. How times have changed.
Yeah, I remember back in 1990 we'd do a podcast and we didn't even know what it was.
Just recorded it on the old radio?
On a cassette tape, and we said one day there's going to be a place for this. I got to dig those out and we can just play them into the internet. And then I can say, go to my podcast. They start in 1990.
And they transpire throughout my entire life. I can remember though, like, because you obviously you're a Winnipeg comic mainstay. I mean, I remember seeing you when I was probably, I want to say like 16 at Club Regent or something like that.
And did you hear all the same jokes here?
No, I did not hear all the same jokes. I did not.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I remember that. It was a Christmas party. You were awesome. But yeah, I mean, obviously your material has changed a lot since then because your life has changed.
That's true.
Which
I'm
is always
older.
You're so excited about it.
Different shoes, some, and yes, I have a family, a new family. I got rid of the old family. I was like, come on, you guys, get it together, or I'm cleaning house.
Trade them in.
No, I'm working very, very hard to keep together a second marriage. Not that it's in danger of falling apart, but the first one did back when I was in my 20s, and I talk about that a bit on stage. Not in a heartbreaking way, which is how it felt at the time. But now I'm remarried and trying much harder to do things very deliberately that will have good outcomes, right? Just not assuming that things will be fine. Because I realized sometimes they're not.
See, and for me, hearing your stories, they're very insightful and very very helpful to my life.
Yeah.
As someone who just moved in with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot through your material.
I think if I can give young men any advice, it would be shut up, sit down, listen, smarten up, and everything that you enjoy or like is forget about it. Why?
It's inspirational right now.
Why?
I feel like...
Don't get hung up on things that you like or want to do because they're meaningless. In the end, and you'll look back and you'll say, why did I think that was so important? Why did I make such a big deal about that? Because I look back now with older eyes and it was stupid. I was stupid. and I should have just done whatever she wanted because that would have made both of us happy in the long run. Right?
In the long run, yes, in the long run.
In the long run.
There's always an end game down the road that you have to think about.
But we're on the internet telling people about the perils of instant gratification, which is maybe the wrong audience. I don't know that the internet audience is saying, I'm in this for the long game. I'm not interested in right now.
We are in it right now.
I'm investing this online time into making myself a better person for 10 years down the road. That doesn't often.
That never happens.
No,
you just whatever.
Except for what's that? There's that website with the games that make your brain better. What's that called?
Luminosity or something? Lumosity?
Maybe
I don't know if that even works.
I've played them. They're fun.
Yeah. So you just got segue from Lumosity, but no, you just got back from Just for Laughs Montreal.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you were there in was it writing capacity?
I was there as a writer backstage. Well, not just like when I say backstage, it makes it sound like you're like in the wings, scribbling,
passing notes over people.
Sort of the gig starts a month before the festival, where they're like, "Here's who our gala hosts are going to be. Here are the stand-up comic gala hosts who are going to bring with them lots of hilarious material, and we don't have to worry about them. But then we have other performers who might not be stand-ups, or they might be legends who are too busy or lazy to show up with."
Too busy, lazy.
To show up with their own material. They're just like, yes, for this giant check, I will show up and hold the microphone. Or if you could put it in a stand, that would be even better.
Because my hands are
I will read what is on the prompter in front of me if I deem it of a sufficient quality that I will put my voice and name to it. And so we, myself and another, team of. I'm part of a team of people that contributes ideas. Maybe they could do something about this. Maybe they could do a little scene that's like this. Maybe they could do some jokes about that. And then, it goes through many layers of the people who protect the famous people from people like me.
So you never talk to them directly. That's right. You have
and they say, Mr. Smith will not be doing the skit you pitched. What else can you pitch? And then you pitch other things. And then eventually, it's the last minute, and they say, whatever. And then
they do it.
And then they do it.
That's crazy. So who did you get a chance to write for?
This past year, I got to write for Chevy Chase, and cool. I got to pitch a lot of ideas at Seth Rogen because he was hosting a gala thing. And but Seth used to do stand up, and he's a screenwriter, and
he gets it.
He gets it, and that sensibility. And he just said, you know what? Don't even put anything in the prompter. I'm just going to come. I'm going to talk about this for a little bit. I'm going to talk about that for a little bit. I'm going to bring out my friend Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's going to sing a song, and we're like, good, that's it. We don't need to do any more work.
That's unreal that you got, So you never got to talk to Seth though?
I got to shake his hand and say, hi, I'm Dean. I'm one of the writers
that's pretty cool.
You didn't need.
Yeah.
And so we'll just be here in the wings.
And thank you for watching.
That. So thank you. That's the best because the festival will hire you, not knowing exactly how much of a mountain you need to build, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's you have to build from the ground up everything, and sometimes you have to keep rebuilding because it keeps getting knocked down,
avalanching.
And sometimes someone like Seth Rogen will just say, "It's all right, guys, I got it covered. It's cool. Yeah. Sit back and enjoy." And he comes out and he was very, very charming and very funny, and it was very, very nice.
So as a stand-up initially, how does it feel when you see like your jokes performed?
It's pretty cool. I mean, I've been pretty fortunate because this is the 4th year that I've been at the festival in this capacity. Put that anywhere, it's all right. And I've been lucky enough to write jokes for Sarah Silverman when she was there, and write jokes for the Muppets when they were hosting, and write jokes for a couple guys from The Big Bang Theory, not the famous ones, but the other ones.
The other
Howard and Raj.
Howard and Raj. Hey, that's pretty cool though.
I know their names somewhere in the back of my head.
Yeah.
The actual names. And there hasn't really been a time where I've been, that joke could have worked if you didn't ruin it. But you're just handing it off to somebody who's going to do so much more to it than you would ever be able to, right?
Do they tag it? Like, do they take it, or do you just say this is good? Like, I'm just going to run with it as you wrote, or
they'll oftentimes you'll submit something and they'll say, I really like that, and what if it was also like this, and they add to it or something.
Okay.
And so, but no one's just sort of winging it on stage. Like what goes into the prompter is what we've all.
It's been approved. Like if you deviate from that, then you're essentially screwing the show up.
You might, or you might make the show amazing, but you're
you're rolling the dice.
In risky territory. Yeah. And, you know, and they're the hosts that they hire, like the Sarah Silvermans and the Chevy Chases and the whoever else is, are at a level where, you know, they're not just going to run off and be crazy and start making stuff up. They're going to say, here's the plan that we had, let's stick to the plan, and let's see it to the end and make the people laugh.
Who was a favorite person you got to write for? Like, who executed your stuff or accepted the stuff you liked the best?
I think I was most excited about working with Sarah Silverman because I've been a huge fan of hers many, many years back. And if you had told me like 15 years back or whatever, you will one day meet her and she will say jokes in front of a Just for Laughs audience that you gave her, I would say, shut up. That's not going to happen.
She never ages.
She doesn't, no.
Like, she looks like she's 22. I don't know how old she is, but we can probably get that put up on the screen somehow.
We'll do that research. I think I think I have an idea how old she is, but I don't want to say in case I'm wrong.
In case you're wrong and she scopes this out, and then it's all downhill from there.
I know she was very angry when she did one of those roasts, and the other roasters, when they came to Sarah Silverman is here, their angle was, Sarah Silverman's so old that...
Wow.
Right? And she got really kind of upset and said, that's not nice. And if I were still somebody that she accepted calls from or emails from, because her you know, these people are very famous and they'll work with you and then they'll move on to something else and they'll forget that you ever met them. And their agents will say, after this project is done, lose their email, please, because you're not their buddy.
They actually say that?
Well, that's the agent's job to protect them from.
Well, I hope you've saved all of these, and you're going to sell them on Craigslist or something. Here's a list of people I've worked with. Please email.
But anyway, if I were somebody who could still, if I could say something to her, I would say, listen, it's a roast for one, so it's supposed to be cruel.
Yeah.
And two, if that's the best they can do, I think you're kind of golden, right? It's not Sarah Silverman is not funny, or Sarah Silverman is so ugly, or Sarah Silverman is any number of things that would, you know, hurt much more. If all they got is that you're over 30.
They have to attack that. Well, yeah, you're sitting pretty.
I think you kind of, you know, they were kind of defanged. There was not a lot they could grab hold of, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, well, it must be cool though, just to meet those people and see that world. Like, I don't know if you had to see it at all. Like, if you're just backstage or see the Muppets world.
Yeah, it's weird because it's kind of like, you know, you see the Muppets who we all know and love, but then you also see the people underneath the Muppets. And
that must be
and then you're like
bottling.
You're like, I don't know if this is more magical or less magical now. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of both.
Let's take away from it a bit.
A little bit, but I was very. It's very cool because when they did the show live, they started with the big Hollywood Squares grid, right? There were, you know, that's not a good picture, but you know what I'm talking about. The big opening to the Muppet Show where they're all vertically stacked in their windows and they all sing together, and the place went crazy, like rock concert. Blew the roof off the joint crazy, and then they all came out from behind there, and they did the rest of it with just the performers in black, and their faces, and their bare arms, and the puppets up here, and the camera shot from up here, and the live audience got to see everybody underneath. And loved it, like just loved it, and you just suspend disbelief, and you just say, I'm watching Kermit talking to Fozzie.
Yeah,
you know?
and you don't focus on the people.
Know, and then you can go, okay, I'm going to watch them do their puppetry thing for a while, but okay, that's interesting, but now I'm just going to watch Kermit and Fuzzy again.
So do they, this is going to probably be a stupid question, but the people, the puppeteers, they don't do the voices as well. They're just...
No, they do the voices live, so that, they're mic'd up, and they're like, hey, Biggie, how's it going, right? And then, you know that the hand's going to match up because I know when my mouth is going to move. Right?
Yeah, you know what? That's interesting.
Yeah.
That would kind of be neat to see. But I mean, not as neat as the trip we took to Flin Flon.
That was pretty good.
Me and Dean.
That was really good.
I mean, we talking about a lot of great things about you rubbing shoulders with the rich and famous. But we went to Flin Flon together on a plane.
In what, February or March?
Yeah, it was pretty cold. And it was pretty good. 20 people, sold out show, in the basement of a hotel. So...
We walked to Walmart that afternoon.
We did. We walked to Walmart.
Got some snacks.
Got some dried mangoes.
For the room.
And
a lot of variety of candy.
Yeah, it was a good
Sweet,
road experience.
Sour, chocolate, salty. Got all the bases covered. Whatever craving next, it's going to be
Dean
met.
taught me about the road.
Oh.
Yeah. So that could be perceived as something totally terrible, but I'm just going to go with the food stuff we got. But also, you probably have toned down your traveling now since... family and stuff.
Yeah. I used to do sort of the yucks runs.
Yeah.
And they, you're on the road for 2 or 3 weeks or more, and you do a week through Alberta and a week through BC interior and a week through Saskatchewan, and then and that's got its charm for a little while when you're a young man. But yeah, I was just relapsed for 9 days, and that's about the length of time that.
So your max out.
Yeah, and then
9 days.
I'm just done, and the family's done, and I got back yesterday, and and then I had to come here tonight, and I had to do something at noon. I hosted a lunch, and so I'm digging a big hole at home, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of the fact that I'm bringing home money that pay the bills, that keep the electricity on and food on the table, cuts no mustard whatsoever.
No.
I might as well just have said, honey, I had a lovely vacation in Montreal.
Yeah, that's what I was there for. It was not working.
Was everyone sick and had diarrhea? Oh, sorry to hear that.
So what did you host today?
It was the American Association All-Stars dinner, the Gold Eyes dinner, and Mr. Cates, the mayor, is also the president and CEO. So the organization said, you get to introduce the mayor, and you can kind of roast him. Would you like to roast the mayor? And I was like, not really.
It's an awkward conversation at an event like that.
And they're like, no, you got to make fun of the mayor. So I said, all right, if he's okay with that, then I will. I'll roast the mayor. But
did you roast the mayor?
I made some jokes at his expense.
Yeah.
And seemed to go over all right.
Nothing. I don't know if did you have any zingers that people were just like, that's hilarious?
I guess the one thing that I was worried might cross the line, and I ran it by, the Gold Eyes front office who suggested that I do this, and I said, "What?" I said, "Does this cross the line?" I said, I can close by saying, but in the end, he's a man who's left a better city for myself and for my wife and for our 4-year-old daughter, Kara, or as we like to call her around the house with crossed fingers, the future Mrs. Sam Cates. Because he marries much younger than himself.
He does.
He's done it a couple times. And each time they've gotten younger than the previous one.
Did you say that?
I did say that.
Oh my God. And what an uproarious applause.
It was, it got the reaction you were probably expecting, which is shock. And then, yes, they laughed. Because they understood. Because 4 is funny. If I had a 12-year-old daughter, that's creepy. Like if she's 12 to 15, she's either got to be like 20 and a woman who's significantly younger than Sam is, or she's still a child and he's going to wait for her. Clearly, he's not going to marry a 4-year-old girl. I said, we crossed fingers. Future Mrs. We're hoping that she'll reach that level of social. Joke. It is the perfect joke.
That is the perfect joke.
We can stop looking, everyone.
We found it.
It's
Dean
the perfect
Jenkinson
joke.
Uncovered it earlier today.
Winnipeg's mayor will marry
his daughter.
My daughter.
At some point
and he'll be my son-in-law. I didn't do that math. He'll be my son-in-law. This is my son, Sam Cates. My son-in-law.
I can't wait for you to say that one day. That would be very scary. Well, if you want to hear more perfect jokes, I guess come see Dean Jenkinson here at Rumors Comedy Club from July 30th through to August 2nd. Come check him out. And if you want to look online to check Twitter and see all the feedback about how awesome Dean is, follow at Rumors Comedy because it'll all be retweeted through there because Dean is not on Twitter. So at Rumors Comedy, follow me, Dan Verville at DV Comedy, and we'll see you next time. Perfect. I'm going to have a look. I like that. I'll take a look.
Have a look at that.
Is that good?